Hello, I'm Isaac Hernandez.
I'm Holly McClure.
And this is Faith Unveiled, a program designed to keep you aware and informed on everything that's happening in the world of faith and family entertainment, good or bad.
Good or bad? Well, almost everything.
We're almost everything, as much as we can.
Yeah.
Again, we are coming to you today from, I'm like stepping on the court here, coming to you today from Content 2022. This is the fall edition, because there was a spring edition, so this is the fall edition. And we are here in your stomping grounds.
We are, Capernaum Studios. Yay. I love it. We're here. It's been a fun day, a fun time. And we met so many interesting people from all backgrounds.
We sure.
I just met someone who orchestrates for films, and I met a person earlier who does directing, and it's great. It's a variegation of people in the business. And today, you've got to guess it's a complete variation from what we normally do.
Complete variation. I've known Leland for quite a while, actually, and he's a really funny guy.
Is he? Is he going to be funny for us?
Well, I don't know.
You know how you have to make people be funny?
Let's find out. Leland, say something funny.
Oh, man. You know what I'm worried about is that at the beginning you emphasized "and the bad."
And
I was like, wait, is he talking about me?
I've never done that on a show either. I wonder what's going on.
It's me, isn't it?
Subliminal. No, just in case.
I'm just glad you're not a doctor, because, normally when you meet comedians, you say something funny.
Right.
Imagine if you were a doctor, I'd say, can you do some surgery on Holly?
Actually, doctors get that a lot, don't they? Oh, you're a doctor. My elbow's been... They always get that kind of stuff.
But isn't it horrible when people say something funny? That's the worst thing to say to someone, I think.
This is the advice somebody gave me, because I crossed the border from Canada to the U.S., and they will, oh, you're a comedian? So they'll do that, say something funny.
Oh, no, they do?
And so this is what the advice I was given to use, and I'm not going to tell you whether I tried it or not. But he said, so, hey, say something funny. You look great in that uniform.
Oh.
And, yeah, you don't want to say that, just so you know.
Oh, you really?
It doesn't go over well.
That didn't work for you.
Apparently that wasn't funny.
It was to me right now.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good.
So, Leland, what has been going on? I've had you on the show, of course, before, and that was when you were
listen,
about...
I'm in jeans and a T-shirt. I didn't know we were dressing up, you guys. I had a tuxedo waiting. I should have wore it.
You did not.
No, I didn't. No.
But... last time we talked about a movie that I think you were about to release, and now apparently it's been released, and that was what I thought was a very funny movie that you did. You totally reminded me of Inspector, I guess kind of Inspector Clouseau, or certainly Get Smart.
Oh, like what is it, Maxwell Smart? Is
Maxwell Smart.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Sleeper Agent. We we released it March 9th, 2020. I don't know if you're familiar with the timing.
Okay.
That was literally the week later the world shut down. So it might have been my fault even. I don't even know. But no, yeah, it's out there now. But mostly online stuff. We never really did anything. You couldn't, right? Because
online stuff doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, I've
true.
heard of YouTubers that have millions of viewers.
Yes. Yeah. I got my own YouTube channel. Get tens of viewers. So I'm having trouble.
And they've liked 10, huh? Yeah, like it.
Oh,
No, but what was the other movie? There was a Christian faith-based film that opened up that week, literally the weekend before COVID.
Oh, that's right.
And
another one.
Which one was it?
It was maybe that was in 2019, but there was one that was about the singer.
It was right before.
I still believe.
Yeah. And they were like so counting on having the same, audience and attraction as I can only imagine, and it did not because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so it really affected a lot of productions. You know.
Yeah, I like to think of Sleeper Agent just like
on the same level.
I believe they're about the same. We both were affected.
I think so.
Well, what are you doing now, though? Do you have a tour, or do you do cities?
Yeah, I do a lot of. I still just travel. Before I got into movies, and after and during, I guess is probably more accurate. I've just been performing stand up and doing tours and getting in front of live audiences.
So is the only movie you've done Sleeper Agent, or have you done others?
No, yeah, I did Extraordinary before that, which was based on a true story about an ultramarathon runner, and I played the ultramarathon runner. And
you didn't. Are you? Is that funny?
Yeah.
No, you really didn't.
Is that funny?
Is that a joke?
That's the problem.
It's not funny.
That's the problem with comedians, right? You think everything they
You played a marathon runner.
I did. I played a marathon. Yeah, Dr. David Horton is the real guy that I played.
Yeah.
Hey, I preached a really good sermon last week. Yeah, sure.
Oh wow.
And I had to do a ton of running. Like a ton. And so basically principal photography was in Virginia through Liberty University.
Okay.
This is all true. Now she doesn't believe anything I say. I'm telling the truth, you guys.
You did a ton of
What
running.
word I say.
You did a ton of running in a movie about a marathon runner, I think. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. Go
See
ahead.
how funny when you're a comedian, anything you say is funny.
It
Man,
is.
I wish it was that
Go
easy.
ahead.
Yeah, no, we did like principal photography in like 6 weeks, all in around Lynchburg, Virginia, through Liberty University, and but then they wanted to get me because it was a race across America, so they wanted me to be in all these landmarks. So we jumped into an RV, a small crew, and just went across, and they'd just like get out and run, and then they would just shoot me running like
Like
Mount
Forrest.
Rushmore and
Like Forrest Gump. Run, Forrest, run. They get all
exactly
the-
very much. Yeah, you've nailed the essence of me. Forrest Gump running.
for all the milestones across America.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm the Forrest Gump of Christian movies.
So what happened with the movie?
It was
It's on YouTube.
It's also on YouTube. Hit the notification bell, comment. It helps the algorithms. No, it was. Well, Kirk Cameron's in it too.
Okay.
Because it's a Christian movie, and legally you have to have him in it.
And
Oh,
you're-
yeah.
That's
or Kevin Sorbo, or
Kevin Sorbo.
I can name you the top 5.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead.
That's my goal, to be one of those top 5. And it was a lot of fun. Well, Karen Abercrombie as well, and Sherry Rigby.
Okay.
So actually, the movie had what was the movie that the Kendrick brothers did? Overcomer. Sherry Rigby played
Yes.
Alex Kendrick's wife.
Yes.
And it was about running. And Cammy Arnett played
The blind guy.
the blind guy. He played my best friend in Extraordinary. It's pretty much the same movie, except they just got rid of me. And it went on to have success as a result.
Yes.
I'm the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Take me out of that movie and watch things start to go.
Right. Okay.
No, when I first met you, though, it was because you had done a reality show, basically, in which you toured Canada
Yeah.
with a bunch of different comedians, I think it was.
Yeah.
It has,
Also, you can see that on YouTube now.
We're doing a big promo for YouTube today, aren't we? That's apparently.
YouTube, I'm telling you. It was called Comedy Tournament.
Yes.
And we just went looking for clean and Christian comics across the country. I was actually talking to some people about doing it in the U.S., doing a U.S. version, but I never did do it.
You found clean comedians in Canada?
Yeah, that was actually the problem with the show was the talent pool wasn't deep. Like for clean and Christian, I'm not saying there's not funny people in Canada. There's lots of funny people.
they're just not clean.
They're just all dirty.
Well, who's your role model? Like, how did you get into it and get into comedy and think you want to do that? Because it's not easy. Let's
No.
face it, it's really not. And it's not an easy business to get into because there's not a lot of people doing clean comedy.
You know what? I always have this question with my wife. I was like, am I just a bad businessman, or is it the industry that I'm in that makes this so difficult all the
Yeah.
time? Because I'm always just like, yeah, I'm doing okay, but I could be doing better. You know what I mean? So yeah, we always have that
I
discussion.
find Christian comedy can be real difficult because, and I may have said this to you on our first interview, is comedy just by nature can be rather insulting, or that's what makes it funny is when you make fun of somebody.
Right.
And you make fun of me a lot on some of the events we're in. I haven't forgotten that. But and so
Terrible Stevie joke.
and so it's difficult because Christians then get offended because you make fun of
Yeah.
how they raise the offering or how they do worship
Sure.
or whatever it is that you make fun.
Yeah.
So it becomes difficult, and if you don't do that, then it's not that funny anymore.
Well, and that's kind of the benefit that I have, and I will get to your question about who my influences are.
Okay, thanks.
I have remembered that. It's in the back of my
Back of your head.
my tiny brain. But I make fun of myself a lot, so it is a lot easier because I'm just and I will say this: I have had people offended that I'm making fun of myself, and I'm like, you can't do that.
Can't win.
Yeah, like I had a lady, and she actually sent me an email about my hands. I made a joke about it in my act, but she had said, you set bad example for kids about making fun of themselves. I don't know.
You told her I am a comedian.
Maybe comedy's not for you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe it's not. Well,
It's my own fault though, because I married her.
You didn't notice
But,
his hands, right?
well, what's about your hands?
I don't know. Would they be
Size.
large? Let me see.
Put your hands again.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Do you see now?
Oh, you do have giant hands. Oh my gosh.
Notice that now.
I did not feel
I
like
need
they were.
perspective. I need to see
I
something.
did not think they were giant till you said that. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
giant, yeah.
Wow. Well, no. I'm not making fun of him though. Okay, so
That's why you're not funny.
so
I've made a career out of it, so go
you
ahead.
made a career out of it. It works for you. So who were your influences when you first started
Right,
to get into
right.
it?
Thank
And
you
how
for-
long have you been doing it?
I've been doing this for 25 years.
Okay, so back 25 years ago, there was more clean comedy kind of, or there wasn't?
Yeah, I mean, so over the years, like when I first started, I would think about when I was a kid listening to like Bob Newhart and Gary Shandling
And they were funny.
and Bill Cosby, which
Yeah.
you can't talk about now or whatever. But those were the clean guys that I was
Right.
and the comics in general that I was. Gary Shandling's not that clean, but those are the influences. And then when I first started doing it, Jim Carrey, a lot of people like his movies, he's crazy and all that kind of stuff. But his stand-up was really like not his first act. His first act was a bunch of impressions and it was all very. But then he started just making fun of the constructs of stand-up comedy, and
Yeah.
he just had these characters, and he just went over the top. And when he was developing this in like the Comedy Store in LA, he was getting booed off the stage sometimes because it was so different and so creative, and people don't realize what he did. Like and now you'll watch it and you're like, oh, okay, it's funny, but it was groundbreaking back then. And now he was a huge influence on me because I'm very physical in my act, and I still am pretty physical. So. Yeah.
And a lot of his movies actually influenced a lot of young kids, because I know my sons are grown now and they still quote Jim Carrey, Dumb and Dumber lines.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, really? We have to hear that one more time? That and Ace Ventura and,
Ace Ventura
I mean, a bunch of
yeah.
that. But that was where he made his mark with the younger generation, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so who today do you pal around with or hang around with? What comedians do you like to
Well, it's
compare notes, especially with a faith-based culture?
Yeah, I mean, it's a small community, right? So I've got a couple of days off next week, and I'm in the area, and Shonda Pierce was like, "We'll jump on the tour bus and let's do a
love
couple
her.
shows."
She's
She's
so funny.
fantastic.
I
and
love
it's
her.
just such a great show and so funny, and not just funny, but the people that come there, they really they hear her heart. For God, and you just see a lot of ministry happening there too. And like I said, it's a small community. So I've also worked with Tim Hawkins a bunch, and all those guys, and we were talking before. No, it was us. We were
Michael
talking
Jr.?
about. We were talking about
Oh,
Michael Jr.
yeah.
But we were talking about Robert G. Lee.
Robert
We were
G.
talking
Lee.
about Paul Aldridge, and we were talking about Naz and all
Thor.
those guys. Thor. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go call some guys after this.
Why don't you
I missed some of them.
You
Haven't
guys
talked to them in a
all
while.
why don't you all get together and do a tour?
We should.
I mean, really, that to me would
Yeah.
be so much fun. And just, if you did your own segments or sections,
Yeah.
and then if you guys all got together and did stuff, I can't remember now the name of the TV show where they would say, okay, act like you're doing this, and a group of the comedians and in what impression it would
Who's
act
Lying
it out.
Anyway
Who's
or
Lying
something?
Anyway,
Yeah.
and they would
Oh,
act
yeah,
it
yeah.
out. And that was great. I love to watch that because it was so creative.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything like that right now.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, we've done a few tours. It's tough getting everybody together, and we do a lot of solo stuff. Like you just do a lot on your own.
Yeah.
Well, since
I'm
COVID,
uncomfortable around all these people right now.
since
I used to be by myself.
Yes.
Too many. This is
Yes,
overload.
the audience out there can really make us very uncomfortable.
Since COVID, though, did you find that comedy changed? Excuse me, comedy changed. Did it change the way you made fun of things?
Well, what's interesting is I wrote jokes about my experiences with COVID and some of these kinds of things. And in Canada, I can still use those jokes because they're still kind of in it. When I come to the U.S. and I do those jokes, they're like, that's a couple years ago now. Are we still doing these jokes? Do you know what I mean? Like there's
Yes.
the sense I get that it's, you're past this.
Well, you can do monkeypox jokes.
I can do monkeypox. That's my
Yeah.
next. Climate change, disease jokes, or whatever.
What is your next thing? Like, what are you looking at? What's funny now?
What's funny now?
Yeah, what are people laughing, reacting
Well,
now?
I'll tell you the two new bits I'm working on.
Okay.
They just within the last couple shows was actually something that I was. I'm still working on it, so I don't want to workshop it in front of you.
Okay.
But it was some shows I did during COVID. How rough it was. I had these socks that I got paid in socks at one show. That's how bad it was getting.
You got paid in socks?
They were good socks. Okay. To be fair, they were good quality socks.
Yeah.
But they said on them they had little labels that said "Dare to Dream," and that's a little hurtful. But the other thing I was doing a joke about was the time I went with my wife to Iron Cycle. It's a spin class, and my experience there, it was insane.
Horrible.
And I don't want to talk about it now. There's still a lot of pain, but yeah, it was crazy. So that's the kind of, I just talk about stuff. I'm becoming more and more of a storyteller as I've gone on in comedy. It used to be kind of a lot of more one-liners and stuff, and now I'm just kind of expanding it in storytelling. Still the same. I'm just still trying to get the same laughs per minute to make sure it's a good, funny show. But I would like to weave a story in it.
Right. You're also very good though at like improving. Because I've seen you on the shows, and like I said, you improv a ton of stuff about me. But you're really good at that.
Those are written.
Yes. But that's what I think. What I enjoy the most is when you can just be funny.
And that's the beauty of a live show as compared to an online or a Zoom show or whatever, or a taped show more than anything. Because on a live show, something's going to happen that night, they'll never happen again. And it's a unique experience that night. So when you go see a live comedy show, this person sneezes in the middle of something, and then all of a sudden we're talking about it, and pass her, your hanky, and there's a whole thing that will become part of the show, and that'll never happen again.
Right.
So that's the beauty of live comedy.
There's a comedian that's online that one of the ones you named actually, that I've watched some of his things, and I love how he shows where he'll ask someone a question in the audience and then he'll just go after him. Of course, that'd be my biggest fear, is to be in the front 5 rows where a comedian can see me and go, don't ask me, don't pick on me.
People, but I think you enjoy.
I'm special.
Yeah, but he'll ask a question and then he'll kind of say, really, or they'll get flustered and make fun. But it is funny. I mean, I do. Yeah. It is funny. I love when he tells a story about his kids, and the relationship, because I think parents can relate to that a lot. Do you have kids?
Yes.
Two
boys.
And what ages are they?
25 and 21, and they're looking for green cards. So ladies, send your resumes in.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Just that is funny with what they go through and what you've been through with them. It's like, I don't know. I just enjoy that. That's kind of funny to me.
Yeah, I mean, and that's comedy, right? It's things that we can relate to, everyday things we can relate to, and we just kind of put a twist on it or observe something about it.
Now, there are people who think that you have to have cuss words, you have to be profane to be funny. What would you say to that?
Absolutely true. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, here's the thing. Like,
I'm glad you didn't say F you or something. I was like, no, don't.
Please don't give him this kind of.
Don't do that.
No, and that's the thing with my comedy. I've never done that. I want it to be true to who I was, and that's just not something I want to talk about. And people talk about, these kids sometimes say that, it can be really tough to be clean all the time and stuff like that. It's got to be harder to be funny. And it's like, well, not really, because this is what I always have done. Do you know what I mean? So if I was struggling, like, man, it's really tough to be clean, then I need to probably check my heart a little bit. Like, what's going on that it's so difficult for you to be clean? Do you know what I mean? So that's just kind of always the way I've done it.
I love like Tim Allen though, Last Man Standing. I mean, every single show you can watch that show, and it's hilarious. There's stuff that you're laughing all the way through. The timing, just the way he says stuff. So, and Bob Hope, I grew up on him. Watching shows. I think there's an art and a craft, and if you do it well, you don't have to. To me, those are lazy words. That's being a lazy comedian, a lazy writer.
Exactly.
That's throwing that in for effect because you can't think of anything else to say.
I mean, to give all respect to really good writers, there are some dirty comedians who are really good writers, and I can appreciate their work. I can say that's actually really clever, but it's not necessarily.
It doesn't have to have that.
But it doesn't have to have it. No.
Yeah, because I think of like Sinbad too. I
loved him.
To make me laugh. So
he was,
and I never heard him say any bad words.
Yeah, what happened to Sinbad?
I don't know.
He's doing some stuff here and there.
Is he?
I think he's on YouTube.
Please, let's don't mention it one more time.
Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more Sinbad.
Oh my gosh. Well, that kind of brings up the next question. Are you going to continue doing this? Or are you wanting to get more into movies? Are you doing your own
interview? I think I'm done.
You're done? Okay.
I think I've had enough. No. Yeah, I enjoy both. Okay. I think my first love is still stand-up. I love getting in front of a crowd. It's just, I enjoy it. That's what I did miss at the beginning of the COVID. Like in Canada, one of the first lockdowns of the 28th or whatever we've had. I did miss that very much. I really enjoy it in front of a crowd, but I do also like the process of filmmaking and television, and even here we're going to be shooting some stuff, and I'm just kind of rewriting a little bit of it today, and I enjoy that process too.
Right.
But I don't want to give up either, so I'll just keep doing both, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, do you think in whatever movies you do, you would prefer that they be comedy movies, or are you ready for something really dramatic?
Yeah, no, I mean, Extraordinary was a drama.
He ran across America. That
Yeah,
was
that
pretty
was
dramatic.
funny.
That's pretty-
It wasn't supposed to be funny, but I guess I run weird, so it was hilarious. No, I enjoy the dramatic stuff too.
Weird. That's
I've enjoyed doing dramatic roles in the past too, so that's something I do. Now, when I'm writing stuff, so far I haven't really felt the need to. I think I need to write something serious. I always kind of tend to draw towards, oh, what if he said this? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is comedy. It's a comedy. I tried, but it's not working out. We're gonna have to keep it a comedy. So.
What about your sons? Have they wanted to get in the same business, or
No.
any desire, or did they growing up go, okay, Dad, we'll do gigs together? Or
No
No.
desire whatsoever. And I see some friends. We were talking about Naz before we were
Yes,
shooting, and
yeah.
Naz's son and his daughter actually went on stage and did some too.
Yes.
I'm like, his whole family's like, yeah, let's do this.
Uh-huh.
Well, my kids are like, get me away from this industry.
Yeah.
They are creative though, and my oldest son, he's a video game designer.
Oh,
So
okay.
he helps design video games, and he's creative, so that's
Uh-huh.
kind of his outlet. But no, they don't want anything to do with the performance.
They didn't want to be raised in the business and go on stage with you and learn it. And,
No, they want
yeah.
a 9 to 5
Yeah.
punch out.
Yeah, paycheck.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is, because I have 3 kids.
Okay.
None of them want to do what I do. None of them. So I thought, well, maybe my grandkids will. Nope.
No.
So I don't. Maybe they saw
they're young.
something. That,
Yeah.
It's like that doesn't feel very successful.
The only people that really know me are like, I did not want to do that.
Yeah.
So,
There's a female comedian, which I was going to ask you, do you know many female? You said Chandra, and I love her.
Shonda, yeah.
There's another one, Leanne. Do you know Leanne?
Morgan?
Morgan.
I've never met her, but I know who she
Oh
is.
my gosh, I love
She's
that
great.
woman.
Yeah,
and she
well,
has that
I've seen-
southern accent. And
Yeah.
again, one of those that just talks about her kids shopping. She
Yeah.
just talks about personal things, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, it's hilarious.
There's this girl that I'm seeing a lot on
Is she blonde?
Facebook. No, she's Hispanic actually. She was in a movie. You know that movie that
Angela
Dallas-
Johnson.
Yes.
Yes, she does
Oh
the
my-
nails. She gets all my nails.
Yeah,
She's so
she
pretty.
is
Yeah,
so
I know that one.
funny.
She's on
She is.
a sketch show. I can't
Yes.
remember which one, Mad TV or something like that.
Yes.
And she played in
tours around
Dallas,
lots.
Dallas Jenkins' movie that he did before getting into The
Yes.
Chosen.
Yeah.
She was
the Gavin Stone.
yes,
Resurrection.
yes, Resurrection of
Yeah.
Gavin Stone. She is so fun. I love watching all her
great.
clips that she's posting. I mean, she's really hilarious.
Right.
And
Yeah.
again, clean. Not a
Exactly.
Christian comedy, and she actually makes fun of that. She says, I love Jesus, but I don't do Christian comedy, and so, but it's very clean, and
Yeah, she's good.
Have you worked cruise ships?
I have.
really.
Yeah.
And how do you like that? Because we've been on a couple of Christian cruises. and
I
it's
love
a
cruise
different-
ships.
yeah.
I mean, it was a ton of fun. Crowds are great, and you don't have to do anything.
And
What do
they're
you-
there, they're
Eat
captive
anytime.
audience.
The cruise itself was what I was enjoying the most.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, super.
Now I hear that you don't get one of the really nice staterooms, though. Is that
I was
true, or is
sharing
that
with
just making
two
it?
other comics in a
What?
bunk
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, no, it was. They put us in a
What?
boiler room or something. It
You
was
had to
small.
share? Seriously, that's not a joke. They had
No,
serious.
it's not a joke. Yeah,
I made a grown man share a bunk room with 2 other guys. Oh no!
yeah.
What cruise was this? What cruise ship were you on? They spared no expense, clearly.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't like us.
Oh,
No, they did. I mean,
Yeah.
It was fine. It was great. I mean, I knew the guys, and I got to know them very well.
okay. I want to ask a question. Do you have a favorite movie that either comedy or something funny? And can you name funny films? So if anyone said, "Well, I like to watch a funny movie," what do you
Sleeper
recommend?
Agent,
So there you go.
starring Leland Klassen. That's my number
I know.
one.
Available on YouTube.
On YouTube, I know. I know.
Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell.
Okay. Aside from that,
I was actually just talking to somebody about this movie, and I kept giving him all these, like, just so you know, there's a couple scenes in it. So
yeah, the qualifier.
it's called Hot Rod. Andy Samberg.
Oh, okay.
It is right up my alley for my comedic sensibilities.
Really?
Now, there's a few things in it that are a little bit, but if you can get through those, it is hilarious.
Do you repent every time you watch it?
Now
Just wanna
I'm
make
feeling
sure you're
guilty
good.
now. I was, that's the thing about it, right? Like you say, oh yeah, it's a great movie, and then when you start talking to someone, like, well, just so you know, there are a couple.
Language.
Wait
they're
a
saying-
minute. Now I'm starting to. Or you ever watch a movie that I love this movie. Kids, watch this, and then you start watching, you're like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's inappropriate. I forgot that this was inappropriate.
Exactly. Well, Bruce Almighty, I mean, that was
great.
Jim Carrey, you said
yeah.
him. So when you can.
Also, a few inappropriate scenes in that, Holly.
Which was really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't ask me which one. Tell me the inappropriate things.
Let's tell the audience which ones are inappropriate. Yeah, well, I know. But that's what I'm saying. You're trying to think of funny movies that, you know, because in the old days you could have done that. That's what Hollywood, you know, made money on. Bob Hope movies, Bing Crosby, Lucille Ball. I mean, talk about classics, you know, but, you know, trying to think
Not
lately
anymore.
Is that, you know, what would we say? What would we say would be funny or comedic?
Sleeper Agent's the only one now.
Oh, stop it.
Agent.
Self-promotion.
One of my favorites is Elf. I love
okay,
Elf.
yes. Elf.
He's an
the
angry
best.
Christmas classic.
Christmas classic. And I don't think there's inappropriate. I mean, maybe a little bit for some parents, but not really.
Will Ferrell's got a couple like that, Kicking and Screaming.
Yes, that was a good. I interviewed him for
comedy
that.
he did that was clean. That was really good.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall. And, I interviewed him for that, and then also Elf. You're right. That's
I love
that's
it.
one of my
We
favorites.
watch it every year. It's a must.
And now it's not even now. I saw it the other day on TV. I'm like, really? They're doing Elf now? Why are they? You know? But I did. I flipped around and saw it.
It's probably about to expire on their contract.
It probably is.
Like, just air it. We
Just
got
air Elf. People will enjoy it in
That's
September.
how I used to have to do a TVN. Sometimes I'd get the call.
Did you?
She'd say, "This is about to expire. Just run it." Okay.
Well, maybe because, but I mean, really, you can't think of many others that I can't. But that's sad. We'll have to work on that. Let's think of some comedy movies, to suggest, because people want suggestions. That's what they do want.
Well, I'm writing one, so there's another one coming.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
To YouTube.
Not to, I mean, maybe eventually.
Hey, what's it about? What's it about?
It's a superhero movie.
Okay.
It's a superhero comedy.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's kind of right in line with what's popular right now and what the trend is. That's great. And are you the superhero, or are you just writing it?
I am. So I need to hit the gym.
Yep.
And what are the powers? What are your superpowers?
I don't want to reveal too much about this yet.
All right.
It's okay.
But-
No one's going to know right now.
Yeah, no one watches the show anyway.
It's okay. No one's going to know. Just go ahead and throw it out there. They'll forget it. They'll forget it.
He doesn't have any, but he feels like he's a mission from God to do this, so he does it
Okay.
anyway.
So
Okay.
how do people follow you if they want to just keep up with what you're doing?
Find me on the socials, lelandklassen.com, and you can click on all of them right there.
Sounds good.
I got hacked and I lost my official comedy page.
Well, that's not funny.
Yeah, all those thousands of.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Did you see
Instagram
how
or Facebook?
Facebook?
That was Facebook.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, sorry to hear
And do you
that.
have a website now, or just
Yeah.
Instagram? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I
website.
still have a Facebook, but it's like I gotta redo some stuff.
Well, let's end on a positive.
It's not.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we just.
I was just. Let me tell you this. I was raised by the most negative man in the entire world. Okay, he would probably not agree. Well, I'm probably not the most. He's so negative. But I was just telling somebody how he used to end conversations with me, and he still does. This is what my dad will say when he's done. Well, you win some, you lose most. And that's how he says goodbye, essentially. That's him saying goodbye. Okay, Dad, love you.
I wish we would have talked about him.
Oh, my
my
goodness.
gosh.
Okay,
should
we got
have
to
talked
do
about
another
your
show.
We don't have
parents.
enough time.
We should have talked about your parents. I should have said that. How were you raised?
Yeah.
Because it
He's
may have
funny.
affected.
My dad's funny, but super negative.
Do they think you're funny?
I don't know.
Okay, we're doing another show on the psychology
He's
of
going to make me
effects.
cry.
It's about effects.
They're
About
not very
effects.
Whoa.
People are trying to be funny, and their parents affect that. Oh my gosh, that's
Leland, thank you for being with us
Thanks for
today.
having me. This
I was
is
hoping
fun.
you'd be funny, but okay.
You were very funny, and there's a website, right? Give the website out. You said-
LelandKlassen.com.
Okay.
One E in Leland. Do not put a second E.
Okay.
So Leland.
LelandKlassen.com. I'm going to start pronouncing my name that way. So
Folks,
get it
don't
right.
forget, we want to hear from you.
That's right.
Just write us at faithunfilmtv@gmail.com. That's faithunfilmtv@gmail.com. And of course, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at faithunfilmtv.
That's right.
And you can watch our show on YouTube. So just go to YouTube and look for
Like,
Faith Unfilmed.
subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
We say that every show. Sadly, we do.
Yep, we do, folks.
Please do it.
See you next week.